Welcome, Transformer fans! My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Deluxe Class Hound. And here he is in his vehicle mode, which is a Cybertronian version, a Cybertronian Jeep, which is based off of his G1 vehicle mode, which was also a Jeep, but I think it was based on a very specific type of Jeep, which I believe was the J59 Jeep brand Jeep pickup truck Jeep. And I don't think I've said the word Jeep enough times in this review, so I'm just gonna let it all out. Jeep, 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 Jeepity Jeep, Jeep, Jeep. And there. And I wish I could say that I was sponsored by Jeep so that I get paid every time I say it, but unfortunately I am not. So, back to the review. So here is Hound in his Cybertronian version of that one very specific Earth vehicle, and it looks good. It's very nice. Nice bits of details everywhere. You got the wheels. As you saw, it can roll quite well. Just nice detail all around. I really like that in this Siege line, they're going the extra mile and putting a lot of detail work on these figures. They did raise the price, which is annoying, but I can see where it's going. Like, they're adding more details and everything is painted. It's not stickers anymore, which is fantastic. And I guess it leads me to my one complaint with the vehicle mode is that it looks too good. And let me sort of explain. The theme of this line is that it's the siege. It's the final days of the war on Cybertron. And it's like right before it's right before the Autobots lose that fight on Cybertron and get on the Ark and escape to Earth. So my question is, why does this Cybertronian vehicle, this alien vehicle, look so much like its Earth counterpart? I mean, it has way too many familiar Earth details for it to be just a coincidence. And I guess that's just it's a minor complaint, and it's just, I guess, only bugging me. I don't know if anyone else has the same problem. But if the theme is supposed to be the final days on Cybertron, Hound's vehicle mode looks way too similar. Like, if I saw this on the street, I'd say what it is. It looks like a very fancy Jeep. And that's it. This doesn't look alien enough for it to make sense that it's from Cybertron. It's just me, and I think having what looks like seats in there I think, again, nice detail, doesn't fit with the theme in my opinion. And that's about it for his vehicle mode. It's very nice. It's a very nice Cybertronian version of an Earth vehicle, even though it looks too Earth-like in my opinion. So, onto the transformation. But first we have to take off his 3 accessories, which are integrated here, and I think they're integrated quite nicely, especially this piece. Bet you if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known that this was actually removable. So here we have this piece, which I don't remember what's the official name of these things, and all of the weapons in the Siege line have official names. I don't really remember them because I think there's a lot of weapons. It's a lot of stuff to remember, and a lot of them don't sound like weapons, even though they clearly are. But yeah, this I think is supposed to be some kind of either a scope or a sensor, so let's put that off. Then we take off this weapon, which is, this ends up being his Hound's Iconics shoulder launcher. And here is Hound's blaster. This is just his main blaster, which you can connect with this thing. So there we have the accessory, which I'll put off to the side. And let's get on with the transformation, which is not too bad. First thing is you lift this up. Lift that up. Just pop it loose. Get your finger in here and wiggle this entire piece. There we go. Piece out. Fold like so. Second verse, same as the first. Just be gentle. There we go. And then fold at an angle. Like you have it like this. Then with this separated, you come in here, separate here. And then you fold out. Fold out. And this is to set up the legs. Fold out his toes. Collapse like so. And lift this piece up to peg into here. Like so. Then this side you do the same. So, and there we have his legs. Nice, big, bulky, blocky legs. So now for this part, you unpeg his hands forward, separate them like so, bring this whole thing down as one piece, so bring it down, it'll click into place, which will do a head reveal of his very, very G1 accurate style head, which is very nicely sculpted with even blue eyes. Again, I love the extra details they've added for the Siege line. It's impressive. I'm not the biggest fan of G1 designs, but they did a great job here. Now for this piece, then, you fold this like so. Fold this piece, this black part, until it pegs into here. Pegs into there, and then this you just fold in to peg. Straighten the arms, and that's it. That is Hound in his robot mode, which looks very nice. It's very, like I said, it's very G1 accurate. I think he's actually he's very G1 accurate, more so than I think the other figures that I've reviewed, which is not a bad thing. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the G1 design, but this is a very, very nice, I guess, Cybertronian style modern update of it. Not bad. Got chock full of details. And then we get his accessories. Which, a big thing about this thing and across the Siege line is their heavy focus on something called the combat system. Which is basically, you'll have characters, weapons, and even stuff like the Battle Masters and the Micro Masters. They can become weapon and equipment for other Transformers to use, which can be mix and match or combined. A good example here, I'll give you like sort of the default here to how for Hound, is that you take this piece, you peg it here, and his blaster is ready, so you just have him hold it. Like so, there's his blaster with the sensor / scope. And then back here, you plug in his shoulder cannon, his shoulder launcher. And here we have I guess the basic combination of these weapons for Hound. His blaster with the scope / sensor, and his iconic shoulder launcher. But you can combine these together, which it reminds me of an older figure that I reviewed and that I've had for a while now. Does anybody remember the Thrilling 30 Voyager class Roadbuster? Yeah, that Roadbuster, not only does Hound here remind me a lot of that Roadbuster, I guess similar style vehicle modes and the weapon ID and the weapon system thing, but hold on. Yeah, I think it's like this and like this. So here we have a mega weapon that is just a combination of all of them, which you can peg on his shoulder, like so. So now he has this really large launcher on his shoulder, or you can have him hold it like if it was a rifle, even though it doesn't really work all too well for him to be held in his hand. So it's like another way for him to use it, or better yet, you can plug it into his full shoulder, and you can actually recreate like Hound's version of a fusion of like Megatron's fusion cannon, which is cool. I prefer his standard what you call it, format, since it gives him his shoulder launcher. But where was I going? What was I going before with that? Oh yeah, the Roadbuster. That Thrilling 30 Voyager class Roadbuster almost feels like a precursor to this sort of combat system, since this entire focus on weaponry is something that he did. If you don't remember, if you're not familiar with it, that specific Roadbuster came with a bunch of weapons. I think it was like 6 or 7 separate weapons that could all be connected to Roadbuster via ports and pegs, similar to this, and you can also combine all of the weapons to make a multitude of combinations, which was really fun and interesting. And it looks like they took that idea and made it part of the main gimmick of the line. The combat system is just their way of saying the weapons can be, mixed and matched. They can be combined with each other. You can even combine it with other weapons, and so on and so forth. And especially with this focus on things like the Micro Masters and Battle Masters, which can turn into weapons themselves. And with another, character type, which I will hopefully review soon, which also involves combining and combinations and like accessorizing to a degree. Well, accessorizing for war. So, on to the articulation. I think I lasted too much on the accessorizing. So, the head is on a ball joint, but because of this back part, you can't really move it too much. The arms can go all around, as well as in and out. There's a swivel at his shoulder, bend at the elbow, and a swivel at his wrist. For a waist, he has a waist swivel, forward, back, in, out. And you have a slight swivel at here, at his leg, bend at the knee, and an ankle pivot. So you can get a lot of dynamic poses. So yeah. So I'm really digging the Siege line for not only the amounts of detail paint and sculpt wise, but also for articulation. You also have all of these extra little pegs here that are meant for the effect parts from like the Battle Masters. Yeah, those little, well, they call them fire blasts that come with the Battle Master, so you can replicate damage or firing or whatnot. It's all compatible, which is really cool. And then for size comparison, let's bring in our good buddy Deluxe Ratchet with his quarter. And as you can see, Ratchet is only slightly taller than him. So Hound is a pretty decent size. Figures, I feel that figures before used to be bigger, but hey, it's still not a bad size. It's about the size of a standard Deluxe. So yeah. So overall, he's a great figure. I recommend picking him up. I'm digging this whole Siege line. It's not too bad. I still prefer the Studio series, but this is a very, very nice line. Nice figures. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Deluxe Class Hound. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.